In the name of God, of Allah, and may peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad and his followers and companions in general. In the name of Allah, God, forgive us if we forget or we made a mistake. In reality, one of the main project is to stand on the concept and principles, and maybe this privilege that made me understand into the conceptual world, and also Isam al-Bashir worked with him for 3 subjects in the concept world into Ta'sil and Tansis. And here there is a concept comes. It's very important to discuss it before we continue with the issue of the classifications. So it's the mostly of this descriptions. It's ahead of the classifications, and from here that the important issue that I would like to talk about in the and a very fast presentations related to the number of issues to remind you until I talk about the definitions and to define that, because all these entries is forming the moderate environment that's around what we have in the classifications or descriptions. The first entry is the political Islam. And the political Islam is it's a lie. It's been established, and they fabricated it, and then they attacked it. It's been fabricated and then been attacked. And Islam, it's one integrity, and also it has no different like an economical, social, or cultural, and many other aspects. It's all one, and the Islamic system, it's from end to end. It's inclusive, and also this should not be actually that misunderstood, and they call it a political Islam or economic Islam, or even into the geographical distribution is the like the Turkish Islam or Asian or African Islam. The Islam is all one. Islam is all inclusive, but that its differences, or maybe that there's impact, is so many and diverse. This is one. And the second issue is the religion and the international relations. This is because the religion and international relation, and I'm talking about the Western system to how to look at the religion. In the beginning, there was based on the secularism base, and either to marginalize it or to keep it away. And by that, there was so many times, but that after the emerging of some issues related to the religion, and also their connection into many phenomena, international phenomena, I start with until that being recognized that the religion is one era into the international relations. But when they recognize it's been being cheated, and because all this cheating and scamming, it was they saying that the religion in this frame it exists, but it exists until we actually have more accusation against that religion. And then we can be based on to destroy the picture of that, or the image of Islam or the religion within many continuous other issues, and maybe that important center, the center of Islam, and Islamic studies, the world and Islamic studies that been led by our Professor Sami Al-Arian. He cared about the issue of Islamophobia really in a big way. That not that because considered just like only the definition, but it's many process that the Western countries following up with that, with a system, with the conflicts and the accumulation, and that gate into the destroying and the accusation against the religion. The third entry is considering the description of Islam or Al-Ikhwan, Muslim Brotherhoods. And Muslim Brothers, it's not a political party. And here we will actually take into consideration what is the social movements to emphasize on that. That is the political party. It's dealing with the political system. And does that mean that there is the brotherhoods not have the right to establish a political party? No, that it means that the social movements wider than the political movement, and the political party is one of the results of this movement and the social movement, and also to be able to do many organizations in a very important grid, that they do this network and they do their roles in different ways and different methods. The word and definitions of the organizations also, I would like to tell you, there's not like, it's not an accusation, it's not a thing like that. First, the West countries, they said the most important thing in this ideology is that you have to organize it. So when they organize this ideology or this idea or this thought, it's been attacked. And here, the very important issue, and the issue of this organization, because the organization also, it's one of the results of these movements, in the frame of its movements, social movements, that which have so many diverse, big, diverse, wide, multiple diversity. And the brotherhoods are not only like association as well, and it's not only like a charity committee, or maybe it's like a civil society organization. It's even like can contribute in this social description, and all these issues can be described, but it's impossible in any way to be in one of this type of things that we just mentioned. And so the fourth entry, the fourth gate, is the social concepts in the political ideology in the Western side and the Arab world. That's supposed to the society that emerged from a wide range concept, which is al-ummah, or the nations. What is the relations, the ummah or nations, and the state, and the state relations with the authority, and the relations of the authority with the society? This is actually, these four things is important, that based on the inclusive vision, emphasizing the relations between the society and the states as equal society, and also the balance between the authority and the society. It's a good balance, but also the authority to control the society, this is a very risky, dangerous way or issue. And also the society, it's possible to take the authority from the states and the organization. This is also risky. And from here, from this point, that the important issue that's what they said in the political science and social science, that the society, it's the results of its surplus, and the states and the authority is the results of the this issue. Therefore, this society is that the one who give the real value, that the society, when they are doing in a specified way, the usul and the things that based on this will empowering to all this social surplus that be empowering of this is movement and is establishments and the social relations as well will be stronger. But the state came approximately to monitor the issue related to the system and not having any chaos can punish any issue that results to get to be out of the general public law. Therefore, we say that the society it's important that work with the authority. And the states and the society, I would like to talk about a vision like very risky in this issue. The suppressive Arab states that established in our countries, I look at it like this. It's like there is the like elimination vision of that, and also the equations of suppressions. That they are eliminating many activities in the society, and it's also with the power of the states and also the ability with their controls and their homogeny. And then we will see that it's necessary each power, social power, with even the Muslim Brotherhood, it will be eliminated too, and also it will be like fought against. And then after that, subsequently, we'll come to the terrorism system and this classification and all these concepts. And we go back again to the crisis of concepts in our like the contemporary era. We know that the General Assembly they met to a conference to determine the concept of the aggression. And they were failed in that because so many like superpowers and aggression powers they did that, and this book called the personal criminal responsibility of the authority, talking about chapters on the story of the concept of aggression, and this is an important issue. The issue of the terrorism concept is not away from the aggression concept. I'd like to tell you that all the people that demanding having conferences to define the terrorism and the aggression, but all these conferences is not going to be held. Why is not going to be held? Because of the power owner. They are the one who need to build the concepts and trying to start all these type of criteria. This is the issue. This is the whole issue. And then after that, they will evaluate and assessing and describe each issue according to their interest. And maybe that can be diverse and can be changed. And from this point, so the issue related to the like terrorism and aggression concept is very important. When we see Israel that they're trying to do aggression, they said this is self-defense. And when the resistance trying to stand in front of and fight this aggression and be like resistance, because this enemy that attack the country, they call that terrorism. This is what now Chomsky condemned when he written his book that under the title of International Terrorism, to emphasize each road of this complex issue in the world of concepts and how it's been used. And from here, that Naum Chomsky described the United States that it's the suppression country in this world. as well as the accusation of terrorism and the relations between the international suppression systems and the internal suppressive systems and the relation between them. This is a very important issue. Also, this accusation of this issue between the stick and the carrot.
There is a new Western way or a new sword against Muslim Brotherhood or Islam within the sword of the regimes and the West. If a person wants to approach the West, they need to say only we fight terrorism. If the West wants to put them in their choir, they tell them fight what we fight, the terrorism. Our terrorism, the identification we tell you, if the US commits a terrorist act, the others will be silent. Also, there is also a paper for Eliyahu Haddad. He is an Israeli from inside Israel. He wrote from Europe to the US, Muslim Brotherhood has reached the Western policy. He is a teacher in the Al-Quds Institute for Foreign Affairs. So this does not only incite against Islam in this framework, does not incite against those who immigrated to the West. But he is saying that this word is supporting Hamas and supporting the Palestinian cause. And from here, we need to know this blade or this sword against terrorism between the regimes, subservient regimes, and the arrogant administrations or regimes. So there is a legal relationship. It is adultery relationship between producing international despotism, tyranny, and the internal despotism and dictatorship. Here, I need to mention some points in this word about issues related to the crisis of understandings that we have. In my title, not a paper, there is a title based on this. On my research, I am planning and I've been writing. When you use the law as a fake rhetoric from social movement to the ready charge against the group, we have a crisis of understandings. It is not a security crisis. Not only a security crisis, we have the crisis of understandings. It starts when the language changes from descriptive tool to condemnation tool, and when the law becomes political rhetoric, not balance of justice. The question being now, if the conventional who can introduce the convention, for which criteria and target? Is the resistance when they do fighting is considered violence? This is the West. This is what the West says. But in the end, it is a must, a duty on this nation to protect their sacred and holy places and countries. The Al-Haraka al-Islamiyya is not a political statement or military or closed statement run in black room, in a dark room. It is an open space for activism and activists. Includes the modernist, and the extremists. All of them are included. Extremists are found everywhere. So you need to have the impunity balance, not to be extremist from here or radical. The danger starts or originated when this space is cut to one description and in a ready charge. When the law changes from control into managing tool. We have learned about the law. You taught, our teachers talked to us about the international law. Law cannot work by impressions, cannot be built on fear, cannot be built on the political situation or condition. The classification of terrorism in this framework, if they are truthful, and I do not support, you need something, you need good, fair judiciary system after any extremist act. But when these are cut to administrative political statement, then we are not observing the law, but we are re-identifying the issue. What is the most important tool used in the Ikhwanophobia and Islamophobia and all phobias? When media talks more than what they interpret. Media is not only reporting a story, but building a framework in this issue. When they repeat the term before explaining it, when they demonize before identification, when they mix between the notion and the ideology, they do not show light, but they mix papers together when we speak about justice. Based on this, the meaning is reintroduced. When we speak about social movement or speak about security risk, political question, security file, what do we lose if we generalize the charge? We lose that the accuracy of law and the integrity of justice and credibility of media and the body of the international law that protects the values and international conventions. We are not able to distinguish between the protests and the resistance and terrorism, between the difference and the threatening, between policy and the crime. And in this case, states do not fall when they are charged with terrorism. When they generalize terrorism, if those do not match the desires, they are considered terrorism. And then the law is considered as a rhetoric or cover, and media does not lose its role when it criticizes, but when it loses the role of asking, can we name these things by themselves or by our names? When the law is considered as rhetoric, then the charge with terrorism is considered a gun in the dictator regime and the states against the weak, vulnerable, those who do not have anything but to defend their homes and countries. I gave like a speech. I don't want to be a traditional speaker, but I based on the reading of some understandings and topics based on the social movement and describing the social movement. It is a collective identification, collective organized work. It is a valuable organization that aims to change. It is conscious awareness, joint common objectives, identity. There are causes, affairs that affect the lives of those who adopt them. It is the usage of resources supported by formal and informal networks. They ensure the movement, and based on the social and based on this, I reiterate something or something extremely important when we say, when one of the scholars who wrote in this social movement, one of the scholars, Alain Touré, when he wrote about the self-actor and the ability to act and the ability to give a joint objective or goal. Alain Touré died in 23. Before he passed away, before he died, he issued a book criticizing the West. He said, he named it the death of the West, the death of societies, communities. He said that the West lost the communities. They lost their values. He wrote it like a will or precept about the Western community, calling on them not to incriminize the community or the institutions or the movement, social movements at any place. He said the social movement, when it is matured, it forms global frameworks at this level, and it is a sign of maturity. Like the labor movement, what did you see in Khudr? They have become a political movement. It is a political movement. And then, when we speak about this social movement, the identification, it shows these meetings after the arguments, as we speak about the secularism in the West. Then they increase the movements. When we speak about the secular movements, let us continue our job. But they want this. They want a national state apart from the country. When we speak about the merging, they said what was taking place in Europe. There were some people in Europe. Aren't you afraid? He said that they could change your culture. In the West, he is referring. At the same time, they consider us, if we don't go, when we speak about a person who came through elections, through high levels in that place, we need to reiterate that they have double standards. The facts of arrogance and dictatorship between the interior and external terrorism, and what Alain Touré describing the capital communities, and the absence of the moral and the criteria and the cultural multiplicity. When we speak about this policy, it is an endless story. This is not. We need to be diverse. We cannot be one color. When they speak about the cultural multiplicity, they are covers or they are smoke bombs. When we speak about the social movement, it is against dictatorship and despotism in nature, against imperialism, colonialism, against any occupation force. And then when we address the community and the religion makes us confronting the Muslim Brotherhood, as they are considered the power of the community against the rulers and the hegemony of the rulers. This has also been proved. When we speak about the incitement of Zionism, the main target, based on what they said and testimonies, is Hamas. And those who were identified were Hamas. Those, they want to uproot Hamas resources and the like. Here, I show to you that this doesn't allow me to end my speech, but in say some significant words. Where is the review of Muslim Brotherhood? There is something which is extremely important. Also, let me be honest in speaking. That the division of Muslim Brotherhood has encouraged those to create the Muslim Brotherhood in the way they want. The reform from within process has conditions to replace the social movement and empower the origins of this movement. The losing opportunities and the picture of the victim doesn't allow us to self-review ourselves in the right way. These social movements and the empowerment of it is something which is essential. The values of Muslim Brotherhood as a social movement says it needs to open to the society. Can Muslim Brotherhood help good ruling without associating it with the social movement? Each reform, if we say that it cannot pass through of our channel, then it will be a great crime or charge. We cannot monopolize the reform, and those who monopolize are cursed. Not benefiting from the youth who are the source of change in the future. They are the most important framework. When Muslim Brotherhood established a strategic mind for the movement in which they can manage themselves with the changes, and thus they can establish something